the American behind the counter, okay, what's a Shite Mcflurry? well, see, you put bits of, Heath bar, and you put bits of crunchy in it, and you put bits of Milky Way and everything, you stir it all up so it looks like shite. Oh my God, okay, so we want the Shite Mcflurry.
Well, you can imagine this 5 or 6-year-old boy who just dying because, Uncle John was asking the McDonald's for a Shite Mcflurry. It was a highlight of his early childhood.
So Carol, John is the youngest of there are three of you, and suddenly you were growing up, and suddenly this baby emerged out of the ball.
You sound like I came down from heaven.
You did.
Oh my God, there's a baby on the floor. Mary, what are we going to do? I don't know. Leave him alone.
Carol, it was like that, wasn't it? It was just like that. Yeah. And you're wonderfully vocal now. So I was going to say, you talk a lot. You're gorgeously vocal. But you was as a child as well. Tell us about that.
Completely obnoxious as a child, and my brother Andrew and I couldn't stand him. In fact, we tried to sell him a couple of times. I would my mom would say, take him out for a walk, and because he cried. He cried from the day he was born, and his mouth hasn't shut since. And he cried, and so my mom would say, take him out, just take him around the cul-de-sac. We lived in a cul-de-sac. And I would go out, and I'd literally pay other neighbor kids to walk the pram with him in it, and then I'd wait till he'd come back, and then I'd take him back in. And then there was one particular night that's in the book that's become a very famous family story. My dad walks into the living room, sits Andrew and I down, and brings John in wrapped in brown paper. I mean, we were barely a year, I think. And we said, well, why did you get the baby wrapped up in a bag like that? And he said, because we're getting rid of him. Fine. And so Andrew and I kind of looked at each other, and we were smart enough with my dad that we knew, he was forever pulling pranks, all the time pulling pranks. So we were a little wary. But then my mom got into it, and usually she's the one that says, John, stop it, you're scaring them, stop it. And so she got into it and said, yep, we're getting rid of him. You guys don't like him, you're not taking care of him, you're mean to him. Well, he's going out to the midden. And when she said that, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, we'll be better, we really will.
No, hold on a minute. He's going out to them, and they actually put me in the goddamn trash.
And then we realized, he might be serious about this, and, so we decided we better.
That one was all those pieces of junk.
Oh! Like brown paper.
Only about 3 weekends ago, but that was for something else. No, I actually don't, but that was one of those stories that I knew as like a family story that had been passed down, and I was told it when I was a little boy, but I'd only heard it from my mom and dad, so it was good for Carol to be there to have the eye for that story.
Carol, you mentioned there the pranks, family